Okay, well, let's see what else that we need to know today. It starts off with Whale of a Time. More light is coming in, okay? And it says your charge is to enlarge, okay? Your charge is to enlarge. So bringing more light, bringing more, enjoying your freedom. Freedom is coming, and having appreciation. Having appreciation. Let's see what else we have with this. Okay. Sagittarius, again, it's saying to expand. Same message. Enlarge, expand. Enjoy your freedom. It's about coming into more harmony, more alignment, more appreciation, rather than looking at trepidation and fear and all of that. So it's about really turning that around and celebrating, knowing that this is going forward. Okay? Protecting treasure. Okay? So again, protecting the things, enlarging, moving out in freedom, joy, expression of that today is important in going forward. So let's get the tarot and see what it's going to tell us. Yeah, flowering is at hand. We've been doing so much work in the garden, pulling weeds, and that's what part of this is about. Pulling weeds, not allowing those shadows, not allowing them to plant fears, not allowing them to put any of that thing in your consciousness that will take away from the light, okay? So first thing we have out is this is moving forward. The Chariot, okay? As it said in the reading, we had the Chariot there as well. Things are moving forward, okay? When it comes to the negative part of this, the illusion, the drama, the nonsense, but also it is the card of, it can be the psychic, the awareness, coming more into that alignment with being psychic, more open, more aware of energies, okay? When it comes to the takeaway, when it comes to what has happened, okay? Now also this is, if we do it on the mundane level, looking that things are moving forward when it comes to the steal, when it comes to the election fraud, when it comes to those things. But also if we look at it in the higher dynamic, it's moving forward into more psychic realm, into more awareness of your energies, etc. And look at the takeaway. What things do you leave behind, and what things do you want to carry with you? Okay. So the energy coming into this is again about the power that you have within, the energy that you have within. This is your right as being a being of the divine, is to know that you have that energy within, this light of control, and that this is something that you continue to move forward with. This is part of how we come against that darkness that is holding into that energy and that light, and continue to share and come together, okay, as a collective. Each person that holds the light just increases that within the whole of the collective, okay? So what's going on today? This is about the information, the things that you have to hold within, the information and all the things that are happening in daily life, in the grounded beingness that you understand and that you hold to, that you know, knowledge, etc., that you are holding to. Okay? Again, this is about coming into an alignment with others, coming together in love, in peace. This is the judgment. Judgment is coming. Judgment can be awareness of these things, judging the right way, but also judgment could be, the judgment of the darker dramas, etc., that are taking place. The challenge is, again, the message of what we have, what's going on in this planet, and what to continue to share with others. Knowledge, when it comes to this feeling of being surrounded with all this mental turmoil, and being, feeling cowed, etc. So it's about putting out that message about that. That is the challenge for moving forward, to get people to understand that they themselves are putting themselves into that drama of feeling restricted. Okay? So it's about sharing that message, putting out that truth, that they are not restricted. They are restricted only by their own thoughts. It's their own thoughts they surround themselves with, that they stay in the middle of, that keep them feeling this restriction. Okay? So the outcome is this feeling of just lack of strength, lack of, going into this emotional upheaval. Okay? And in this case, this person is looking at an empty cup, but yet they're surrounded by energy. They're surrounded by light. But their focus is what? Their focus is on an emptiness. If they just understood the truth of these things, that they are surrounded by these cups, this energy at any time, and they move their focus, they would see that and be able to come out of that drama of feeling of lack. So this is your choice. This is your life path. The choices that you make going forward. We have free will. That's what it's saying. The alpha, the omega, the zero. Okay? This within us is the divine is. That zero is the divine is. And it's up to us what we focus on. Are we going to see that cup as empty, that one little cup? Or do we see we're surrounded by many cups of light there for our taking? Okay? So it's up to you what is in your mind, what you are holding to as truth. Okay? The Queen of Swords within is truth. So are you holding to the truth of the reality that light is there? It's abundance surrounding you? Or are you going to be in this mode of I'm restricted, and you're only, again, restricted by your own thoughts? I'm going to find my book, and I'll read one thing that I wrote about that. Okay. So this is about what is being given out. Okay. What you're being offered in the world, about this power. Okay. About this energy, about the knowledge of this energy that you hold on to, that you bring out into the world, about the long-term things that you have, that you're holding on to, and about what you are standing for, what you are continuing to go forward with, bringing into balance, and knowing that the wheel is turning. Okay? So it's, again, talking about these things are moving forward. There is more light available. There is more wisdom available to you. You just have to open your mind to receive it and not put yourself in limitation and restriction. Because the only limitation and restriction is within your own mind. Okay? And that's what I found. You know, when I started my path, I was in so much pain, mental pain, depression. All I wanted to do was be off this planet when I started my path. And then when it completed, I found that the only thing I needed to be liberated from was the mental spin. We got the puppy wars going again. They're playing tug of war. Yeah. Get that toy, Lily. So I'll look for that writing, and then I'll tack it on to this as well. And it has about going forward and understanding the realm of mind. Okay. And again, you know, quantum works by what energy you're putting out there mentally. What are you holding to? What are you putting out there? So whatever it is you are holding within your mind is what you are putting out there to bring into creation. Okay? So when you are holding to negativity and drama, what do you think you're creating? The more negativity and drama. Okay? So what you are thinking, what you are holding to in your mental space is what goes out into the world to come back to you, to be continually created. Okay? So on that note, I'll leave that here, and I will go find that book so I can read that part to you. And hopefully that helps you to understand where we're going with this. Okay, continuing on, I did find my book. It's in my book, Kundalini from Hell to Heaven. Now, the Kundalini from Hell to Heaven, if you look at it on Amazon, it's got a new cover on it. So, same book, same information. It's just got a different cover. So this is entitled Ego, Bondage, and Delusions of Truth. All of our emotional bondages are created and held in place by that which is known as ego. Ego is the belief that we are these bodies, emotions, and thoughts. Therefore, when anything goes against any of these systems, we hold it to be an assault against our persona. Depending on our belief system and identity, which is already in place, the disturbance can be mildly irritating to downright devastating. If we encounter a traumatic situation where there was a belief that impending death was just around the corner, then that trauma may be rerun again and again in the psyche, creating even more pain and perceived trauma. But there is a way to short-circuit these illusions of truth. For anything that is not liberating is not truth at all, but an illusion of truth. And it is these illusions that we will address. How are they created and what sustains them? And if they are illusions, how can we move beyond them? If we are not this ego structure, then what are we? How can peace of mind be attained and preserved? Where do we begin? And where will this search end? Believe it or not, that which you fear the most can be that which liberates you in the end. The largest perceived fear can be the greatest liberator. Please bear with me in this. Right now, you're probably thinking that this woman has a serious screw loose somewhere. And if I were in your place, I would probably think about the same thing right now. But I've been where you are and have escaped the seemingly concrete fears and thought constructs and emotional baggage which kept me bound for many years. I have walked the path and therefore can speak from the position of direct experiential knowledge and not hearsay. All I will speak of has been acquired by direct experience. I do not have a PhD, but rather a direct knowledge of truth as it is. It is this truth that I wish to share with you today. So, conditionings. From the moment we're born, these conditionings begin, and the conditions of life are set. We're born into this world with a body. Some bodies are seen as perfect and some flawed. We are born into a family. Some are glad at the arrival, and perhaps some are not. All of these things begin to create the conditionings and conditions of our lives. The views of our parents and society and friends all have an impact on our thought structures and perceptions. These all come together to create our basic outlook on life and what we hold to be truth. These all create our perceptions of truth. Excuse me. Okay, let's continue. A sneezing fit. If you are supported and told you are smart, then you have confidence in whatever you do. While on the other hand, if you're always told you are stupid and ugly, then this will color your world and view of reality. This colors your thoughts of who you perceive yourself to be, along with all the other events in life, which also color and interplay within your reality framework. One person whom has always been sheltered within a loving family will see the world as a kind and beneficial, beautiful place to be, whereas one who has come from a harsh and abusive environment will see the world colored as a place to be continually on guard. Then there are events which unfold in everyone's life which will skew even these basic beliefs. Holding on to the past. Now you begin to see just how much the conditionings create our basic view of reality as we know it or think it to be. With this out of the way, we begin right where you are at this present moment in time. The first thing we do is look at the fact that the past is past. So if we're rerunning the tapes of the past, let's look at the fact that by running them over and over, you can change nothing. All you're doing is reinforcing past nonsense that is keeping you bound in one form or another. If it were not keeping you bound, it would have passed right out of your awareness. For whatever reason you perceive, you are continually holding on to this perception, whether a slight hurt or trauma. And you have to admit it, it's not doing anything constructive in your life. The what-if factor. Now, let's look at the other waste of energy which we continually find ourselves in. And this is the what-if factor. Trying to live in the future just never works, as the only place that you can truly live is in the present moment of now. So, what is happening when you're running the past tapes and the what-if tapes? In essence, you're passing life by. You're only existing. You're not living at all. Life is in a holding pattern, continually circling around and around. And the more you feed the past and the what-ifs, the more they grow into unmanageable cyclones of wasted energy and efforts. You're only attempting to deal with a change, something which is already gone. It lives only within your illusion of truth. And the conflict is there because of the ego identification with the body, emotions, and thoughts. And in truth, you are none of these things. So now you ask, where do I go from here? And from here, I say it's time you found out the truth of who and what you really are and who you are not. Once you know, at long last, just what comprises your being, then the rest, which is illusion, will drop away of its own accord. When these things are no longer given any energy, then they will dissipate into the vapors of unreality that they are. Like a drop of dew evaporates in the sunlight, these illusions will dissipate under the light of truth. Are you ready to begin the never-ending adventure? Are you ready to begin to really live life to the fullest, to grab and rest in the freedom that is just waiting for you? It's always there and has always been there. It's only your own blinders which keep you from seeing it. Is your fear that you're nothing and nobody? Is your great fear that of death and that you will cease to be? Let's examine these fears and see what comes out of them. The freedom to be. Let us proceed to look at what is transient. What is it about you that comes and goes? When you peel away the layers of the transient, what is it that remains? When you come to what remains, you will see and come to the truth of your being. You will see that there was nothing to fear and that there is only freedom that remains. And won't that be a lovely thing to remain? Freedom. Just freedom to be. The freedom of knowing that you are the unbound truth of existence, and that all you perceived was just an illusion of bondage and fear, which never had any reality at all, except that which you yourself gave it. So, are you ready to unravel all the fears and thoughts and emotions that have kept you tied on the wheel of karma? Are you ready to let go of the desires to keep you bound to the wheel of birth and death? For it's not the actions which keep you on the wheel of karma, going around and around. It is the thought and intent of the actions. And it is the reactions of the actions that come against you, which you once again keep you bound to the wheel of birth and death, just going around and around in a never-ending spiral called life and death, birth and rebirth. We keep circling through the same old patterns again and again until we can break that cycle. In each life, we will draw the same patterns to ourselves, keep creating the same illusions of truth until we can break free and see them for what they are. And once we see through them, the pattern will drop and we move onwards to a new experience. Look at your life and see what patterns keep coming up again and again. Now let's walk through the door of knowledge to liberation and the freedom which awaits. The truth of your being. What is mind? What is mind? Is it a physical thing? Let's look here. What is the mind comprised of? Is not the mind comprised of thoughts? And just what are thoughts? Are they some concrete existence? No. Thoughts come and go like waves on the sea. First one thought is there, and then another, and so on, and so on. One arises and falls, and then the next, and so on, infinitum. But there can only be one thought that makes its appearance at a time. Sometimes these thoughts will start in a whirlpool, one after another, just going around and around until you are dizzy and disoriented just from the sheer continued motion and circling around and around. But look at it again. Even though there are certain thought patterns which keep appearing and cycling, they ultimately come and go. If they come and go, they are not concrete in nature, but fluid. And like waves on the ocean, They can appear like a ripple, or with enough energy can appear as a tidal wave, pulling you out into a sea of emotion and fear and despair, only because they have touched upon an illusion of your truth. They come and rock your world, creating waves in your reality. Let's continue on in this search until we uncover the reality that cannot be shaken. When you come to the truth, you will be free, as truth is and is the basis for all of creation. All has proceeded from truth, is sustained by truth, and will once again return to truth. Illusions, being what they are in the end, must disappear. When the illusion is uncovered, it ceases to be. So we see that mind is comprised of individual thoughts which come and go, one thought manifesting at a time. So mind is not concrete in nature. Mind is an illusion. Mind has no substance. So let us move on now to thought. What is thought? Thought also has no concrete nature. So exactly what and where do thoughts manifest from? They have no substance. They arise from nowhere and return to nowhere. So why is so much importance given to something which comes and goes from nowhere to nowhere? When it leaves our awareness and perception, where does it go? It only has life while in the framework of our perceptions. When these thoughts float into our awareness, what happens? We give it life by then ascribing emotions to it. When a thought comes in, if you look at it and dwell on it, does it not elicit an emotion? So this emotion gives the thought life for that moment in time. Let us follow the emotion. Emotions come and go. They're something that are particular to you alone. No one else feels your emotion but you. Others may see a reaction to the emotion, but the emotion itself is yours alone. Is emotion a concrete thing? No. You cannot have an emotion that lives independently on its own. You are the one that gives it life. Your attention to it gives it energy and life, and once again, emotions come and go. Like the waves of an ocean, in and out, high tide, low tide. And since they are transient in nature, they are not the reality of your being. They are but ripples on the sea of consciousness. One emotion arises and is there for some time until it is replaced by another emotion. Once again, they are created and held in place by mind and thought. And we have already seen that mind and thought have no substance and are only passing illusions. And these illusions create and sustain all the illusions that keep us bound. So let us review. We know that we're not the physical body. If you see something, are you that which is being seen? Is the body that which is watching itself? Nor can we be the mind which is created by thoughts. Nor are we the individual thoughts. Nor are we the conglomerate of thoughts. If we are neither of these, then it follows we cannot be the emotions which the mind and thoughts create and sustain. And isn't our whole persona just made up and held together by all these illusions of mind, thought, and emotion? So let us keep going and seeing just what is left. My goodness, do I even exist at all? I think it's safe to say yes. Yes, you do exist, just not the way you thought and perceived. So when we take away the body, the mind, the thoughts, the emotions, just what is left? The truth of your being. So how do you know you have thoughts? How do you know you dream at night? Or that there were no dreams? It's because of conscious awareness. You are this conscious awareness. It sees the thoughts, but is not the thoughts. It's aware of the emotions, but it's not the emotions. It is aware of form, but it is not form. It is not concrete in nature, yet clearly it is. You are in fact no body, and you are no thing. You are awareness, energy, vibration, truth, and bliss. And these are eternal in nature. They are that which creates and sustains existence. All form, while appearing and disappearing, is created by these alone, and therefore always exists. The form may change, but it is eternal, for it never was the concrete illusion of truth which we see. See beyond the form to the formless. See beyond the illusions of truth to the reality of truth. Now let us continue onward. Now we come to the point of putting all this together. Since we are in reality, conscious awareness and energy and vibration and truth and bliss, just what thought or emotion or physical happening can touch us? None can truly touch our essence. All of the perceived traumas and hurts have happened only to the body, and you are not this body. This is how we diffuse the bondage. When the pain comes again, go into it. Go to the root. There's nothing to go into the fear fully and see that when you reach the end of it, that it will just dissipate and is comprised of illusions of truth. When thoughts come and go, just see them as passing clouds with no substance. Do not give them form in life. Let them come and go like waves on the ocean. Instead of being carried away by a tidal wave, get in the boat and float downstream and enjoy the ride. When you drop the mind of thoughts and illusions, you will reach the still waters of the peace, which passes all understanding. You will be the everlasting waters. You will not thirst again. You alone create the fears and bondages of life. And you have the power to let all of them go. Just go into the illusion and it will dissipate before your very eyes. You will not cease to exist, nor will you find more bondage. What you will find is the doorway to freedom. You have never truly been born, nor have you died. You are beyond these forms and plays of life, as all this is created by mind and thought. So go beyond all these illusions to what and who you really are. Live life to the fullest. You are here to explore and be existence. So drop all the self-doubts and illusions of truth that keep you going around and around. You are life. You are bliss. Drop the elusive mind and thought. You are Sat Chit Anand. This is the truth of your being, and what in reality can touch or harm this truth? Nothing at all. So there you have ego, bondage, and illusions of truth. I thought that that goes well with the reading today, that it's time for expansion. It's time for that freedom. It's time for that appreciation. All of these things to come forward, and more knowledge, more truth, more awareness of these lights and this energy which you are, this power which you are, ultimately, when you let go of the drama of body form and the different things that you hold to create an egoic identification. So on that note, I'll leave that here. We'll see you online.